Hello, entrepreneurs. Joe DeChara here once again with another amazing episode of Joe DeChara Presents How to Win at Business. And tonight, I don't have any PowerPoint. To be honest with you, I've been painting all day. And let me just share with you 1 second the typical chain of events that happen with us entrepreneurs, how we could take something so simple and just make it explode into, I feel like I'm building Rome. And, they said that Rome wasn't built in a day. Well, about 3 weeks ago, I invited one of my clients, mastermind member, to do a brief intro presentation on time management. And it was great. It was brilliant. We all learned a lot. And I thank you for that, Dr. Flo, if you're listening. And I'm not calling you out because it was a great presentation. And in part of it, she had mentioned something that I believe, and I just know it. And it's that you need to have a clear workspace. You can't have, and I'm looking at a mess on my desk right now. And obviously, my desk isn't clear. And I'm going to tell you why. What started out as simply organizing my desk spurred me to turn my desk around because my girlfriend had mentioned that, according to the laws of energy, I was backwards. I had my desk facing the door when my back should be to, and so I had to turn my desk around. Well, after I did that, I realized that I had my green screen set up for the desk being that. So now I had to take down the green screen, and that led to deciding, well, I didn't really like the green screen to begin with. I mean, I liked it. It was cool. It was fun to play with, but it's not real. And I want to do this for real. So I said, well, I'll just paint this wall. I'll make it, I don't need a green screen, and the wall needed a painting. Well, it came out so good that I didn't stop at the wall. I started spackling the ceiling, and then I did the ceiling. And now I got the ceiling and 3 walls down. I got 1 more wall to do. And it's going to be brand new paint, more. I might bring some feng shui people in here. I know my friend PK O'Doul is, I got to get her back on my radar here. But, so, and if it just ended there, I would be fine. But no, because when I opened the door, now I had to paint the door going out of my office. Well, you don't want to just paint one side of the door. You want to paint both sides. Well, then I had on the other end, the hallway leading to my office. Well, now that had it's a nice, clean, freshly painted door. Well, I can't stop there. I got to paint the rest of the hallway. And that hallway is connected to the kitchen. So tomorrow we'll be painting the hallway in the kitchen, and it's also attached to the bathroom. Now, my girlfriend told me, do not touch the bedroom or the living room, which is that's a big job. So I told her, I'm not doing that. So I'm just putting it out there. I'm going to end in the hallway, the kitchen. And this was all because I wanted to save time. And in the same training, we talked about keeping track of your time. So I got this program called Calendly, and I'm almost like, it's become like an obsession because I record what I'm doing. First, it just started out, I wanted to record my clients. And this is just, and if you're seeing a pattern here and you could relate to this, you'll understand why I'm getting into this training tonight. because, and the training tonight is about if you can't track it, you can't measure it. And that's another thing that I decided to do with this whole time management. There's a whole, it's like we plant the seed and then it's just growing out of proportion. And so the Calendly thing, now I'm looking at, okay, I want to keep track of the time I spent on my clients. Well, what about the time I spend on personal development and the time I spend on marketing? And yes, the time that I spent, I invested in painting my office. And the results are eye-opening for me. And I apologize, because if you don't know me and you just wandered on here and you're wondering who is this guy and what is he talking about? I am a serial entrepreneur, CPA, that is obsessed. And I'll admit it, I have OCD when it comes to small business, startups, organizing them, and basically helping business owners start trying to have fun and simplify the craziness that I'm explaining now. And this is the stuff that goes through the mind of an entrepreneur. And this is why we need masterminds, we need coaches, we need people to check us. Because that simple time management thing, if I wasn't paying attention, I might wind up painting the whole damn building here, not realizing that the whole objective was to save time. Well, now I got to bring it back. I get this time management, this Clockify, and it's free, folks. There's no affiliate thing. In fact, it's so good that it doesn't even pay to upgrade. Believe it or not, not for what I do. Not if you're a solopreneur and you just want to keep track of what exactly am I spending my time on. It's unbelievable. And so what happens is now I'm tracking my time. Now I'm tracking my time, and now I could look at it now. And after the first week, I looked at it. And it wasn't what I thought it would be. First of all, I don't work nearly as many hours as I thought I was. And I actually include this as work, folks. So just so you know, if it looks like I'm enjoying myself, I am. And that's the whole purpose. I wasn't too long ago, I was a miserable CPA, just crunching numbers and wondering how was I going to change the world by doing bookkeeping and preparing tax returns. So I changed it, and now I try to teach people like this how they can change it. And I don't care, if you like chasing butterflies, I say there's a business there. Okay, it doesn't have to be a hobby, and we could turn it into a business. And so I was thinking, I'm looking at all of this information now, because that's what it is. It's information. And when they talk about, if you can't track it, you can't measure it. If you can't measure it, how can you really run your business effectively and efficiently? So it dawned on me, what are we tracking exactly? Because I just assumed that we're tracking our income and expenses. That's what we want to track. Obviously, you want to see on a real-time basis, not a year later, not 6 months later. You want to be able to look at your numbers. So that's a given. When they say, know your numbers, I think it's a given that we're talking about knowing your balance sheet, and most importantly, your P&L and what your cash flow is going to be. But it dawned on me that there are a lot of other numbers, and not just numbers, but patterns and things that are going on in our businesses that are probably, I can't say more important, but those are the things that lead up to the numbers on your financials. You see, your financial reports really are the results of what happened before then. Okay, balance sheet is where are we today, and an income statement is for this period of time, how much money did we make, how much money did we lose, and what are the numbers there. Okay, so that's a given, and any accountant can tell you that. But I was thinking back to 2016 when my business really started to turn from being a high-paying job into a business. And that's when I did John Limbacher's Freedom Formula. And John has this program called ACT. And the Freedom Formula was something that, yeah, I'm familiar with this. It's math. I mean, how much money do I need to live the life that I want to live, on a regular basis? I'm an accountant. I can figure this out, John. But what he made me do, and thank you, John, was I had to take that number, okay, and it wasn't a small number. I had to take that number and apply it to my business and say, what do I have to do in my business to generate this amount of cash flow? And I looked at my business, and I started plugging the numbers, and I realized that I was screwed. Literally, it was if the business, the traditional business model of a CPA bookkeeper, if I just kept going with that, with the products and services that I had at the time, it would take about 246 and a half years to reach my goal. And I'm going to reach my goal. And so I realized that I'm probably not going to live that long. So either I got to change something. Okay. And so what I had to do now was look at, well, if these are my products and services and these are my clients, well, where is my sweet spot? I mean, should I just trash the whole business, or is there something salvageable here? So what else can I go by? Because I had a long track record in business. I mean, I never did account, but I know that I've handled thousands of businesses through firms and projects and whatnot. And I know that I've gone through, several hundred clients easily, business clients. So I had to take a look at them. And now without the data from a program like Clockify, so that was a handicap. So my first suggestion, hey, Brian, thanks for joining me. And so download Clockify, Brian. I know that this is something that will definitely open. I think every entrepreneur really needs to look at where are we actually spending our time. So I go back to my clients, and I had every range from the clients, the tiny clients that I would see once a year that maybe had a little side gig, to the large $10 million construction clients. And what I found was pretty eye-opening, because what I found out was that the large established companies were only paying me a fraction of what those smaller companies were paying me in relation to the amount of time and effort that I had to spend. So I'm looking at my future and saying, listen, I can kill myself and keep getting large, corporate clients that want to suck the blood out of me. And there's only so many of them that you can handle. Okay, because you can't send your staff there because they're paying you top dollar. They want to see you. Or do I go with the little startup client that has never been in business before, really knows very little? They're eager, they follow direction, they listen. So I had to make a very, very big decision on how I was going to run my business the rest of my life, only because I looked at information that was always there right in front of me. It was always there. I just didn't do the simple exercise that my friend John Limbacher gave me. And it was very simple. And it wasn't just the size of the client, the revenue, it wasn't any of that. The type of industry. I was able to dig even deeper to who were those clients? Did they have families? So now I'm going into the whole demographics of the information. And I came up with what we call an avatar, my ideal client. And it wasn't the $10 million construction company or the trucking companies or the large food distributors. That's what I was taught. That's what I was trained, that you want the companies that are established. They'll pay your bills. They need all kinds of financial. Yeah, I know what they need. And I provided it to them for a long, long time. And it was a good run. And I made a very good living. I created a very lucrative job for myself, basically where I've been able to work almost part-time for the last 15 years, pursuing what I really wanted to do. And the funny thing is, I didn't even know what that was. Today I do, because I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. I am teaching people the fundamentals of business, getting into business, and this is one of those areas. So when they say, if you can't track it, you can't measure it, just think about that. And don't get so caught up in the numbers part of it, because another thing that I've learned is that people are afraid of numbers. And what I mean by that is if you're not an accountant, and I could see how it could be intimidating for people that just don't get it. There's plenty of things. I'm not studying another language. I'm still struggling with English. So I want to learn Italian and Spanish and all the, but I'm like, you know what? That's not, I'm comfortable with the numbers. So I could understand that. So if you have a business, if you want to get into the business, just be cognizant of the stuff that I wasn't aware of when I started out. And even stuff that I wasn't aware of a few years ago or even a few months ago. It's a moving target, folks. Business is a moving target. Okay, between technology and just the whole world in general, it is a moving target. And I enjoy that. It makes it fun and interesting for me. But for you as an entrepreneur, a new business owner, maybe a struggling business owner, and if you're not struggling, you're probably not trying hard enough. And I just totally lost my train of thought. So if that's you, don't focus so much on the details. Okay, that's what I want to leave you with tonight. The details are important. The systems are important. But you got to dig down even deeper than the numbers. You got to dig down to who, why, where, how are you going to do this? So Brian, hello, Alfredo. How are you? So Brian is delivering an essential service to children and parents. Okay, and I commend Brian for what he's doing, because he took a situation, an opportunity, and turned it into a business. And he's providing a valuable service for people. So Brian, what you're going to be doing now is you're going to be looking at your results. Who are the parents that don't pick their kids up on time or don't drop them off, and you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. So stay alert, pay attention, don't get bogged down in all the details, but just realize that everything you do is part of a sequence. And that's why I started out with, I'm painting my whole apartment now, all because I started this time management thing. And all I wanted to do was clear. And you want to know something? The idea was clearing off my desk, and now my desk is nowhere near clear. So I haven't reached my objective. So anyway, that's my story, being transparent. It's a moving target, folks. I will be here again tomorrow, and I do want to invite you, Brian. You've been there once before. Alfred, I know that I actually sent you an invite to join my mastermind group tomorrow, Mastermind with Joe DiChiara. And this mastermind group, let me tell you, folks, is taking on a whole nother life of its own. Tomorrow, I have my friend Gina St. George is going to be talking about creating courses in your business. But it's really fascinating the way she approaches it. And I'll give you an idea. She had a shredding business. Her and her husband had a successful shredding business. And the way she approached doing SEO work was to put information out there about privacy laws. So you would say, well, what do privacy laws have to do with shredding? Well, it turned out that it had everything to do with shredding, because if people had private information, like lawyers and doctors, they wanted it shredded. So instead of doing SEO based on what a normal shredding company would put out there, she did it that way. And she takes that kind of ingenuity and experience and talent, and she is going to do a short training on how you can take almost anything. So like even Brian, with you just opened up a little school. You could actually do a course on opening a school to help you attract people to your school, if that makes sense. So I'm really excited about it. So register at mastermindwithjoedichara.com, and we will be on tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. And if you don't make that, I will be on again tomorrow night. And so Friday nights are going to be tracking and measurement night. That's what I'm going to try to stay focused on. And Saturday nights are going to be comedy night, folks. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's going to be something fun and entertaining, and hopefully that has to do with business. So that's my story. Joe DiChiara, over and out. God bless. Thank you. See you soon.